Wrong button. What up, yo? How you doing? I was refilling my coffee. You're going to work? What time is it over there? 9 o'clock? You got an all-dayer? I'll be leaving around 9 o'clock too, though. 6 o'clock here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's listen to Trump fight with K Welker. Did I share the screen? Where's it at? Guess I got to go back here. Let me see here. Take that off. Dang, my stomach is growling. There it is. Now, why do we have that freak on the background? There we go. Definitely all day. A lot of catch-up office work. Okay. Got to do the business end of things, huh? No lighting pizzas on fire today. All right.
The election was rigged. It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in California.
Presented evidence.
It's happening
the
right now in California. Right now, it's look at what's
Where's
happening in
the evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days
are doing well in
California. It's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with.
That's how they count.
You know
the
why
votes
they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS. And CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I traveled
I know. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
On and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview. I spoke with President Trump on Saturday, and we both acknowledged the complications during the interview posed by the rain. He agreed to sit down with me for another Meet the Press interview.
Wow. He thinks he's ace. He thinks he's ace from, what's up, Dean Dude? Good morning. From, hold on. He told her, you're either crooked or you're stupid.
4 reels, 7s across 3 $15,000 jackpots. Do you have any idea what the odds are?
Shoot, it's got to be in the millions, maybe more.
3 fucking jackpots in 20 minutes? Why didn't you pull the machines? Why didn't you call me?
Well, it happened so quick. 3 guys won. I didn't have a chance to call
Oh,
you.
you see the scam? You didn't see what was going on?
Well, there's no way to determine that.
Yes,
Sam.
there is. An infallible way. They won.
Well, it's a casino. People got to win sometimes.
Hey, Ward, you're pissing me off. Now you're insulting my intelligence. What do you think? I'm a fucking idiot? You know goddamn well somebody had to get into those machines and set those fucking reels. The probability on one 4-reel machine is 1.5 million to 1. On 3 machines in a row, it's in the billions. It cannot happen. Would not happen. You fucking Momo, what's the matter with you? Didn't you see you being set up on a second win?
I really think
you didn't see that you were being set up on a second win?
I really think you're overreacting.
Listen,
to
you
this whole...
fucking yoke, I had it with you. I've been carrying your ass in this place ever since I got here. Get your ass and get your things and get out of here.
You're firing me?
I'm firing you. No, I'm not firing. I'm firing you.
You might regret this, Mr. Rothstein.
I'll regret it even more if I keep you on.
This is not the way to treat people.
Listen, if you didn't know you're being scammed, you're too fucking dumb to keep this job. If you did know you were in on it, either way, you're out. Get out. Go on. Let's go.
That's how he treated her right there. You're either either crooked or you're in on it, or you're crooked or you're stupid. You know? Fuck him. What a little bitch Trump is. Did you see what he did there? He took off his microphone and he stepped on it on his way out. See, it's on the ground. Here, he's going to take it off right here. He's going to take off his microphone and he's going to drop it.
I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way
on
to
the ground. He tried to crush it right there. He didn't. He didn't crush it, but he's going to crush it once he stands up.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I
I've sat in
traveled
the rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
And he crushed it. Motherfucker.
I spoke with President Trump on Saturday.
Yeah. That's our president, Mr. No New Wars. He says he never promised no new wars.
No new
Look.
wars.
First of all, I didn't guarantee no war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. No more wars, no more disruptions. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will have prosperity and peace for all. I am the candidate of peace. I am peace. We will turn the page forever. One of those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars. They never ended.
You insist.
Yeah, we're going to turn the page on it, guys. Never-ending wars. He just told Netanyahu, and he told us yesterday that he calls the shots. Israel and Netanyahu doesn't call the shots. And then right after that, Israel bombs Iran. So Iran sends some ballistic missiles to Israel. I mean, come on. You want to talk about never ending? That's it right there. What are you guys up to today? I'm getting ready to go out and sell. I got everything done. I got to dip strawberries here in a little bit. Magooch, what's going down? You just missed the Trump bashing session, so you're just in time. I know you didn't want to see that part. Hope you're doing well. They're in Monaco. The rich are in Monaco right now for the F1 racing. An average. What do you guys think the average price of a F1 racing car is? Anybody have an idea?
How much does a Formula One car cost?
Like 400-ish, 600. Do we know? Hundreds of millions.
Wait, I thought you meant like 400K.
No, hundreds of millions.
400 million?
Hundreds of millions. Yeah.
Hundreds of millions for a car?
Produce one, yeah.
I gotta become a driver, brother. Can I try out?
Yeah, try out.
All right. $400 million? Wow, that is insane. How much is a
$400 million for a car? And I got some videos of what it looks like to be rich.
I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best fucking night of my life. And wherever it takes me, I'm down for.
So this is Monaco. Apparently there's like 200 yachts in that bay right now. Look at that. Dude's got a car on the yacht right there. And that's probably a $400 million car. Crazy. I know I did a little research on that place, Monaco. It's like a tax haven for those type of people. Time to go tend to the farm. Catch you later. All right, Thindu. $20 million. Oh, that was your guess. Yeah, 400 million. 400. I would get two of them if I had that kind of right. That guy was wrong. I had my car on ferry. Oh, you say that it's not 400 million for a car, Todd Father? You don't think it's that much? Let me see here. Let me ask. Yeah, you're right. It says 15 to 16 million per car. You know, maybe he's talking about like with endorsements and all that, you know, like those cars can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars with the driver and all the insurance and everything. I could see that. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense, right? Dang, my stomach is growing. 15 to 20 million sounds more realistic.
You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So, what that make you good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Even when I lie. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, they had a 7.8 earthquake.
Octagon is coming to 16. We all know President Trump loves UFC crowds, and they love him.
New construction
Sorry, I was on mute.
for an unprecedented spectacle.
Yeah, the Octagon is coming to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I think it's going to be the biggest event we've ever had.
There's going to be 4,300 people there, and most of them will be military.
It's going to be a one-of-one type of show.
This is the hottest ticket in town.
This has all of the ingredients needed for the biggest fight in UFC history.
We all know President Trump loves UFC crowds, and they love him.
So I'm sure everyone's so excited about that, right? Let's listen to Bill Gates talk here for a second. He interestingly makes some sense here, which is weird because he's such a pedophile and an evil, disgusting pig who secretly gave his wife antibiotics in hopes to cure her STD without her knowing that he contracted from sleeping with underage Russian hookers. True story. This guy's a fucking pig. But just listen to him talk about the data centers.
The AI is the biggest technical thing ever in my lifetime. I mean, it is so profound, and therefore its influence is hard to overstate. And the economic value, this is basically intelligence, where you can get medical advice, or you can get a tutor, or you can get somebody to help you design drugs. So the value is extremely high, just like creating the internet ended up being in net very, very valuable. But you have a frenzy, and some of these companies will be glad they spent all this money. Some of them, they'll commit to data centers whose electricity is too expensive, right, that it could be done overseas, or they'll buy a generation of chips and they won't have captured all their value before the next one comes along. But, if you want to be a tech company, you don't get to say, no, let's check out of this race.
What do you think the public appetite for this is ultimately going to be? And I ask because I think there's concerns about two things that are happening right now. One is energy costs. So there's a whole bunch of places where people want to put data centers, and the community says, no, we don't want this because we don't want to have to spend more money for power to power our own homes. At the same time, they're worried that if they actually are successful, they'll also lose their jobs.
We need to put things like TerraPower nuclear reactors in places where it's very clear that you're not raising the residents' electricity bills because that's being put in there. Historically, nuclear was done in a way that the utility bore a lot of that liability. That business model won't get repeated. So we need to make sure to pick locations where the economics and the political acceptance is very, very strong. We don't have permission to drive up people's electricity costs. In terms of the jobs, this is going to take some period of time. But yes, although it hasn't been seen in large numbers, over the next several years, there will be some impact on the job market. Nowadays, when you say that, some people are like, oh, how can you, say that? Isn't that going to slow the U.S. down in this race? But it's only honest for people to speak frankly about the fact this will have a big effect on the job market.
And of course, Gates is a longtime capitalist. So I talked to him about the industrial policy coming from the White House, including the U.S. taking stakes in rare earth and chip companies. Here's what he had to say.
Government operates best when it's kind of predictable. That is, when what are the tariffs going to be for the next 20 years? Because when you build a factory, so the government shouldn't be changing its policy, every year or every day, because, predictability is a very, very important thing. Understanding when the company's helping nascent technology, is it doing that for the good of the country and, and treating companies equally, or will it want to own part of those companies and if somebody has better technology, they'll favor the company they own part of. And we need to understand what those policies are. Yes, I think there's a rush of people to say, wow, maybe that's how to get to the front of the line for government money. But the rules of the game we're playing are pretty unclear right now.
This wild stuff. It's the wild, wild west. There's enough traffic with the World Cup and the Knicks and everyday traffic. Yeah. I think Tommy was saying something about that too. Yeah, he's going to be in New York. Yep, I think he could just try to lower the gas prices. I'd be fine with that rather than him go to the basketball game. But more earthquake video.
Bantay mo, anak. Bantay mo, diate. Lingkod lang, lingkod lang. Lingkod lang. Lingkod lang. Lingkod lang. Lingkod. Lingkod lang. Lingkod lang. Lingkod lang, lingkod lang. Lingkod lang.
Crazy. Scary. 7.8 is a big earthquake. Gas is only 380 where you're at, huh? Nice. Well, maybe it went down here. Let me look at my Upside app real quick. Nope. 548. 599. Well above $5.50 a gallon. We're paying over here. And but $1.40 of that, $1.50 of that, so that would put us down to $4 a gallon. Is our state tax, our garbage state tax. Baron Coleman talking about, well, basically how Erika was just so cold-blooded that, she didn't give. We'll just listen to this.
The thing that bothered this person the most about Erika Kirk was she was awake when he left the house that final day. Because she remembers him coming into the room and getting his necklace and getting his wedding ring, because he didn't sleep in the room. But she remembers him coming in there. And they didn't kiss goodbye and they didn't hug goodbye, which means she faked being asleep, or at least didn't say, honey, come give me a hug and a kiss. You're going to be gone for a few days. And the comment was essentially, the reason this person doesn't believe anything Erika says is because that is not a seminal moment in her life that destroys her. Because imagine, those of you who are truly in love, that the last time you could have hugged and kissed your spouse, you pretended to be asleep and they left without saying goodbye. That would be tough to get over. That would be tough to recover from. Doesn't seem to bother her. She tells the story in passing to Jesse Waters. Oh, yeah, he came in and grabbed his necklace, he grabbed his ring, and he left. I never saw him again. That's tough luck, huh? That's wild right there. That's wild.
She is a cold-blooded bitch. And if you guys don't really follow that whole story, it's like pretty much proven that Charlie, they were going to get a divorce. They were on the outs, Erika and Charlie. It was over. It was just a short relationship because Charlie wanted out of all of it. He turned on Israel, the whole Israel stance. Like he's seen the writing on the wall, and he also knew they were going to kill him. He woke up knowing it. He knew he went to bed knowing it because he texted people the night before that they're going to kill him. And Erika just pretends she's asleep. They don't sleep in the same room that night because they got in a fight or I can't remember exactly what happened. But and then 6 days later, she's smiling about how much merch they sold. 6 days after he's dead, she's laughing about. It's just crazy. This is Sean Strickland here. He was banned from going to the White House UFC event. Did I say UFC? I meant JUFC. It is definitely the JUFC controlled by terror. It's basically, if you look at who owns Ari Emanuel, one of the owners of the UFC now, you could pretty much chalk it up as a terrorist organization if you want to. I mean, if you know where to look. But these are the statements that got Sean Strickland banned. If you speak out against an Israeli killing a Palestinian kid, they're going to ban you.
What have we been hearing for the last year and a half? We've been seeing on the internet, on the interwebs, on the X, from CNN, from all the media, we've been seeing dead little brown kids being pulled out of fucking buildings. Every time I go on the news, I see Israeli bombs a hospital. Here's a dead little Palestinian girl before she wears a fucking hijab. And it's the only time you can see her face, but it's real fucking sad. You can't be a human being and turn the news on and see these dead fucking kids missing limbs and not feel anger. Well, goddamn, I don't want little fucking brown kids to die anymore. I want that to stop. The American military is giving Israelis bombs to bomb little fucking brown kids in hospitals. If you had a button right now and you could stop giving bombs to Israel, would you, to kill little brown kids? Naturally, yes. And you and every other American would. But it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, and war is very profitable. It's extremely profitable war. And who profits from the war? I have no idea. It wouldn't possibly be these faggots, would it? With all the yachts, all the super yachts. To me, it looks like these guys are doing exceptionally well this year. They don't look like they're hurting for money, even for millionaire and billionaire standards by any stretch of the imagination. They look like they're doing very well. So if war is so profitable, which it is, the weapons manufacturers and the people that get all those high value military contracts. Yeah, I wonder who those people are. Interesting. But we'll move on. Chud the Builder, it's not looking good for him in court. We knew this guy was just going to end up either dead or in jail. I mean, I said it many times on the show.
2016, this is 6 days before this event. Chud the Builder posts on X, I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. And then he posts another response to himself. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. 2016, this is 6 days before this event.
So this is not his current arrest. He had been arrested before. That was a different case, but it's not looking good for him. And, they're going to play this kind of stuff in court. So me personally, I think that, because I'm pretty sure it's kind of a self-defense thing that actually got him in jail. But what he's doing out there is so beyond trying to incite violence that they're probably just going to make an example out of him. I don't know. I don't think it's going to turn out too well for that dude. I think he's going to get some prison time. One of the easiest ways for men to get more done, methylene blue. If your productivity has crashed, try this potent mitochondrial enhancing compound. Best upgrade I've ever made as a man. That's what this Grant Mercer guy says. And I have to agree with him. I don't do the capsules. I've never tried the capsules. And I know Todd said he feels great lately. Not from methylene blue, but just from basically getting sleep. So I know Magooch does the methylene blue. I do the methylene blue. Did I do my methylene blue this morning? I did not. Need to do that. It's only 6 though. I usually do it when I eat, about 9 o'clock. Eat some eggs. I used to do it really early, because I used to do it like multiple times a day. I only do it once a day now, but I still do it every day. Hunter Biden. This is actually a pretty good video because it talks about addiction, and I think Hunter. I don't know. Who knows what's true, what's not true? Is he a scumbag? I think he was definitely a scumbag at one point. I don't know exactly what he did, but this is actually kind of. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but
I just posted something about all the questions surrounding whether it's really me. Well, it really is me. I need my glasses. And what I want to tell everybody is this, is that the reason I'm doing this is because for 7 years, for a whole myriad of reasons, I haven't been able to tell my story. Part of it had to do with the fact that it was really never about me. It was about power. It was about the presidency. And it wasn't my place to be even more of a distraction than obviously my addiction and troubles created for the administration or for anybody else. But now I don't have to take that into consideration. And I have a lot to say. And mostly, though, what I want to say is this, is that the one thing that I know I am qualified to talk about is addiction and recovery. There are 50 million Americans suffering today from an addiction. We all know someone, all of us, every single one of us that we love, or even ourselves, that has suffered from addiction. And I also know a lot about recovery, the ups and downs, the struggle of it, the beauty of it, the incredible promises that that you can receive if you stay the course. And I want to just start a conversation. I want everybody to realize is that there are more things that connect us than divide us. And I know there's going to be a lot of haters, a lot of trolls, a lot of people saying really, really awful things, but I've heard it all before. It doesn't even faze me. I promise you. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know the amends that I need to make. I know the forgiveness that I need to seek. And if you want to have that conversation, then go ahead, be my guest. But the conversation I want to have is about how we connect, all of us. And I mean, doesn't mean I am a saint that or Buddha, and I'm just going to let bygones be bygones. But the fact of the matter is that I really believe that that we don't have to be this way. We don't have to be hateful and vengeful and so mean all the time. And what I found on here is exactly that. I tell my story with radical honesty. I don't think it's very radical, but it's honest. And the amount of love and support and from across the spectrum, you know, whether it's from Republicans or Democrats or, I mean, who gives a damn about the political labels now, the partisan political labels? Other than this, is that if you want to talk to me, I'm obviously incredibly prolifically available. It's just me. I don't have a team doing this. It's just me, and I have a lot to plan. You know, I mean, this isn't like a one-off, and you know, in a couple of weeks I'll be gone. My hope is to start a Substack. I think that would be a really cool place in the community. I've written a couple books. I'm gonna, I think, release a book in the serial form over there, which I think.
It's interesting to hear, you know, everybody. It's funny for those of us that have been around the content YouTube game for a while, and it doesn't matter how big or little your channel is. If you've created content, if you've went live and done this any number of times, you know how difficult it is, you know. And for me, it's not, I don't, it's very easy for me to come up here and do content because my content is what's going on in the world. I don't need to sit there and think about what I'm going to come up with for content. But with that, you know, my show's never going to go anywhere. It's never going to be, you know, worth anything. But that's just me. That's just what I do. It's just everybody, you know, that jumps on social media has a plan. And, you know, it's such a saturated market that even somebody like him, and a lot of people don't like Hunter Biden, rightfully so, his impact is going to be so minimal. I think he has a lot of value to offer in for people that have been addicted, but I don't think that the universe will allow it for him to be as effective. He'll never be able to show his true potential, in my opinion, you know, and he probably is a dirty motherfucker anyway. Didn't he fuck his brother's wife or, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what he's done. I don't have any idea. I just hear these little catchphrases like Hunter's laptop, and I don't know any details about what he did. But, you know, is there anybody in Washington, D.C. that hasn't done something nasty? I know Trump has. Pretty much everybody in his administration is a fucking garbage pail. This guy is going to war with CBS and Barry Weiss because they fired him from 60 Minutes.
Barry Weiss sends an email to my boss, Tanya Simon. Two of the things in the email include, can we make the protesters look more violent? Now, I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the quote, but that's what was communicated to me. And the other thing was Renee Good's car. You need to describe her as driving toward the officer. This is not what you see on the video. On the video, you see the officer standing slightly off the front of the car, and you clearly see Miss Good's wheels turned completely as far as they will go, away from the officer. But he shoots her in the head, kills her, and says something about her in that moment that I can't repeat in polite company. So we have gone out of our way in our plan from the very beginning to show the protesters for the responsibility that they had. We had already scrubbed the video archives looking for those scenes, but it somehow wasn't enough for Ms. Weiss. The video showed that the officer wasn't standing in front of the car and she wasn't driving toward him, but that's what the president said about that, and that's the way she wanted it described.
Yep, and that was one of the turning points for me too. And you know, I started out thinking about, And I said many times that, and even before that happened, that I'm never for going out and protesting ever, because that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to fucking happen. But nevertheless, that lady didn't deserve to be shot in the face. But that's when you have those dirty pigs that are, and you know, a lot of the police that they you know, what are those ICE people and stuff like that? They're trained by the IDF. They're trained by Israel. They're trained by the people that think it's okay to rape kids and shoot people in the face and have dogs rape people. I mean, I'm being dead serious. That's who trains those guys. The IDF and Israelis train a lot of factions of our law enforcement around the country, and especially those guys. And it's obvious by the way they react. And he said he called her a fucking bitch after he killed her. Fucking bitch. He said, I don't remember exactly what he said. But it's such a pussy move for that cop to have done that. You know, I hope that motherfucker, I don't even want to say what I hope happens to people like that. You know, she shouldn't have been out there doing what she was doing, but you don't, as an American, you don't deserve that shit. You don't deserve, nobody deserves to get shot in the face like that. Unless you know what I mean? That's such a pussy ass thing for that cop to do. I hope he rots in hell. But, you know, and then the way they spin it on them in the media, it's just crazy. That story just makes my blood boil. I thought this was kind of cool. This is just the science behind an anchor, about how the chain actually does all the work.
There's a precise art to it, and it all comes down to a beautiful mathematical concept, the catenary curve. When the anchor hits the bottom, the ship keeps letting out chain, a lot of chain. The goal isn't to make a straight line to the anchor. The goal is to create a long, heavy belly of chain that lies flat on the seabed for a significant distance. This curve is the catenary, and it does two incredible things. First, the sheer weight of hundreds of feet of chain lying on the seabed creates an insane amount of friction. It's like a giant paperweight. But second, and this is the genius part, it acts as a massive, perfect shock absorber. When wind or waves push the ship, they aren't pulling directly on the anchor. They're trying to lift this immensely heavy chain off the sea floor. All that energy is spent fighting the weight of the chain. The curve straightens out, absorbing the shock like a giant rubber band. By the time that force actually reaches the anchor, it's been dampened so much it's just a gentle tug. There's a precise art to it, and it all comes down to a beautiful mathematical concept.
Thought that was pretty cool. And I already played this one, Trump going off on what's her name. I think I'm going to cut it there. Those are all the videos I have. Go dip my strawberries. Get moving. Look at all those yachts. My God. Billions and billions of dollars in boats there. Oh, we didn't play this one.
Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. I said, hey, hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. I said, hey, baby, I got your money.
Yep, I'm all for this. You wanna fuck our gas prices up, you motherfucking little crybaby bitch. Take that. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck you. Fuck all your kids. Fuck your dead mother. Okay? Fuck your dead brother who died of alcoholism. I hope you start drinking in your old age and you die alcoholism. You dirty motherfucker. You lying fucking sack of shit. Okay? I hope you get herpes in your mouth. Fuck all three of your kids, your sons, Barron, Eric, and Donald Trump. Fuck all three of them. Did I say fuck your mother? Fuck your mother. Fuck your dad. Fuck all your cousins. Okay? Fuck everybody you work with. Fuck your whole administration. And fuck you. Okay? How about that? All right, guys. I'm going to head out. I got to go. I got strawberries to dip. And I will talk to everybody soon. Todd, have a good day at work. Magooch, thanks for hanging out. Where's the gong at?